All right, guys, it's Thursday today, and we decided, since the day before was just kind of a lazy day, today we're going to have a walk up to this place called Clumber Park. It's like a historic manor park, right, Aaron?
hmm
So, like, grounds were like an old. Is the manor house still there, or was it where a manor house used to be?
I can't remember. It's been
Oh,
years.
well, I'll look into it, and if I have anything more to say, I'll let you guys know. But we're going to go for a walk around there, so I'll see you guys when we get there. I'm being a vlogger. So Clumber Park actually is the site of an old manor house. It was built in the 18th century by the Duke of Newcastle. It was originally a deer park, and the manor was a hunting lodge. They enclosed 3,000 acres of Sherwood Forest to repurpose it as a deer park. But the house was added onto and built and stuff. Unfortunately, it was destroyed in a fire in 1879. And there was another fire in 1912, and with the effects of the First World War and the Great Depression, the house was abandoned and then demolished in 1938, according to Wikipedia, to avoid a tax bill. So now, the house itself no longer exists, but you can still see, the surrounding park, and you can still see the supporting structures of the house around the park. So yeah, it's a very beautiful area. I mean, you can see there's tons of nature, lots of animals, geese and swans and ducks. It's just very lovely, very peaceful, very good to just walk around and kind of just collect your thoughts, as it were. So yeah, just enjoy some of this footage of Arron and me and his stepdad Mark just looking around the grounds. The house itself is gone, but this church is still here, the Church of St. Mary the Virgin, which was built by the 7th Duke of Newcastle. It was commissioned in 1864, but it wasn't completed until 1889. It's a very beautiful Gothic Revival chapel, as you can see. Some lovely sculptures and some stained glass windows. I'm not a religious person at all, but I really enjoy, old architecture, especially, religious architecture, churches and chapels and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, just enjoy some of this. Here's just an old sundial that was sitting on the grounds. Thought it was interesting. And afterward, we stopped at the cafe for some soup and a cup of tea. Very nice, very delicious, very comforting, especially after the cold. And then, of course, I decided to visit the secondhand bookshop, which was actually built inside of the old horse stables. So, it's very rustic, lots of brickwork and stuff, very old. Apparently, a lot of these National Trust sites have used bookstores in them, so if I ever visit any more of these places, I'll definitely have to pay attention to that. So yeah, I just had a quick look around. Didn't find a whole lot that interested me. As usual, it's mostly crime and thrillers and romance novels and that kind of thing. But still, it was really, really cool. And I did find one thing from here, which I will show at the end of this video. And then we made our slow journey back home, and in some of these shots you can see sort of the avenues leading up to the house or the park, and so you can get a sense of how massive it was. So yeah, that was our day at Clumber Park. Alright guys, so it's Friday, and today's going to be kind of an easy day. We just decided we're going to go to the local market and just have a look around. It's not the main market, which is on Saturday, but we just wanted to, have a look around and see if there's anything interesting. It's going to be all vintage stuff, so I'm hoping for maybe some secondhand books, right, Arron? So yeah, we'll see. There might not be much, and if not, then I won't come back with anything. But I'll get some footage and show you guys what it's like. So yeah, see you there. So yeah, here's the vintage market. As you can see, it's pretty much what you would expect from this type of stuff. Lots of like old jewelry, sort of brass works, walking sticks, that kind of thing. But they had a lot of other stuff too. They had so they had fresh vegetables, fruit, food, and they even had some LPs and such, some old LPs. But what I was most excited about, of course, were the books, which they did have. Mostly the usual suspects, crime, thriller, romance. But I did come away with one book. Alright, so there wasn't a whole lot book-related at the stalls, but still, all that on the table there was £1, so it was still pretty cool to see. And I did come away with some Bernard Cornwell, Agincourt, so we'll see if that's any good. And we're just gonna have a look around and just see what's up, just idle around a little. Like I said, today's gonna be a bit of a lazy day, so I'll see you guys whenever I come back. Alright, so we've decided to check out the CEX, the Entertainment Exchange, where they have all kinds of techie stuff, as you can see. You used to come here a lot, didn't you, Arron? The one in Lincoln. Yeah, we'll see what it's like. We just had a quick look around here. There wasn't much that interested us, it's what you would expect, old games and tech and things. What surprised me is how expensive some of it was. They had a PS3, or a PS2 I think it was, that was for £80, which is crazy, but as sad as it is to say, PS2 is becoming vintage these days, so, Alright, so it's evening, and we're getting some tea. We went to a pizza place called Pizza Milano's, and I got this spicy beef pizza and cheese and chips. So I'm going to enjoy that. And Arron also reminded me I've got a vanilla slice in the fridge from earlier.
Sorry, I'm casting a shadow.
That's okay. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy the shit out of this, and probably see you guys either later tonight or tomorrow. We're hanging out with Graham, so that should be fun. Alright, so it's Saturday, and we're going out to meet up with Graham at the train station, and we're just going to walk around town and look at some book stalls and stuff, because Saturday is kind of the big market, the main market through the week. So I'm hoping there'll be more of a selection to choose from. And there's also a few charity shops that I missed out on last time, so I'm going to be going through those as well. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Alright, so this is just going to be a quick little montage of some of the little charity shops I missed out on. Not much to add that I haven't already said. A lot of these charity shops are pretty small and have, the sort of stuff you would expect to find at stores like this. But I hope you guys enjoy anyway. Unfortunately, some of these stores were a little bit piddly and didn't have much to offer, but still, it's always, I enjoy the hunt. That's part of the appeal. So, yeah, I just hope you guys enjoy looking at some of these and soaking in the bookish vibes. And then at the end, we actually stopped by this really lovely children's bookstore called Wonderland Books. I didn't get any footage in there because, the guy was talking to us and it didn't feel right just flinging my camera around. But yeah, it was a nice little store, just very lovely. And then we capped off the day with some fish and chips at this place called Kenny's that was delicious. The batter was light and crispy and wonderful. Alright, so sorry I didn't film last night, but I was really tired after walking around with Graham and Arron. We went all around town. Unfortunately, the book market wasn't on because there's a storm passing through, actually. Storm Dara, is that what it's called?
Something like that, yeah.
Something Dara, so yeah, it's this big storm going through this area of England. It's pretty bad. You can probably hear the rain right now, and the wind's been bad. It was blowing around the caravan last night. So yeah, it's been a little disappointing, unfortunately, but I did buy some things. I'm going to put it all in a haul at the end of this vlog like I normally do. But today it's going to be a lazy day. It's Sunday, so we're just going to his nan's house. We're going to have some sausage casserole, have some lunch. So yeah, that should be fun. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Vlogging. We stopped at the co-op to try and get his nan some flowers, but unfortunately they didn't have any. But luckily we did find a little lemon cake that we got for her. You know, we just wanted to do something nice to show our appreciation for her making us dinner. Or lunch, I should say. And yeah, then we made our way there. In retrospect, it probably wasn't the best idea to try and walk there in the middle of wind and rain and stuff, but it wasn't too bad. We made it there okay. And once there, we played with her lovely dog, Gobi. I believe he's a Snoodle, what is it, Spaniel and Poodle mix. And yeah, he's only 3 years old. He's very rambunctious. He loves playing and jumping all up and down, and we eventually had to give him his little chew toy to get him to calm down, which he very much enjoyed. He's a sweet little dog. And then I had some of the fabled sausage casserole. This is Aaron's favorite. He was really looking forward to her making it, and yeah, it was delicious, spiced with, you know, peppers and everything. And then for dessert, we had some sponge with heavy cream, which was also amazing. It was rich and decadent and syrupy. I loved it. Part of the reason we were here was to go through some of her husband's old things, old clothes and things. He passed recently, so we took some of his clothes, and yeah, I think we look quite smart. What do you think? Alright, so we got back from his nan's house. Probably just going to spend the rest of today chilling because it's, you know, just a lazy Sunday. But tomorrow and the day after, we're going to be spending the next 2 days in Gainsborough with Graham and his kids. So probably going to be a lot more active in the next coming days. So I will see you guys then. Alright, so it's Monday morning and we're on our way back to Gainsborough to spend the next couple days with Graham. You excited, Arron?
I am. I'm going to sit and hang with my mate.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done that. I mean, we hung out with him on Sunday, but you know.
Yeah, but I like Graham.
Well, you know what I mean, like a proper hangout at his house. You know, spending a couple days together. You know.
Yeah, watching films with the kids.
Yeah,
get them all excited.
Yeah, it should be fun. So.
Oh, and we get to see Crombie tomorrow.
Oh yeah, so we get to see more of Aaron's friends. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in a bit. I'm just gonna make our way to the train station, and it won't take an hour this time. Indeed, it didn't take an hour this time. We had a nice slow walk up to the train station. We went up through the park this time because it was a little bit faster. Although we were a little bit blindsided this time because we ended up running into a felled tree that was, you know, it was knocked down during the storm, so we had to step over that. Unfortunately, it was too big for us to move out of the way, but Arron told me that they usually have people on these things pretty quickly. But other than that, it was a pretty uneventful walk, and we just made our way back to Gainsborough.
Look at that tree behind you.
The tree fell over, but it's okay. We climbed over it because we're cool studs.
Big boys.
Yeah, big boys. While we were on the train, I managed to make sure to get a shot of the massive power station that's near Gainsborough, just so you can, get an idea of what a lovely, blighted hellscape Arron's hometown is. So, yeah, just the perfect metaphor for, for what this area is like. And look, when we arrived, there was a rainbow. It's a sign. So yeah, we made it to Gainsborough, and we quickly met up with Graham, and they both quickly went about wandering around the town and reminiscing and filling me in, I should say, on some of their old memories and stories. It was very low key, as usual. Like we usually do. We're not really party animals. It's nice to just walk around and chat and reminisce. So yeah, just enjoy some of this footage, and I'll cut in anything relevant if I think you'll find it interesting. So yeah, enjoy.
This is the famous bridge where I had the cops called on me as a kid because I was chucking bricks over here because I was very bored.
You were chucking bricks over the
I was over there to that side. I was watching for oncoming traffic and throwing bricks.
No wonder you grew up here.
Somebody set fire to the whole verge.
Which one?
This whole verge, like all the way up near the bridge, they doused it in petrol and set
Did
fire
they
to
really?
it.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It was like a patch where everyone was setting fires when we were in school.
Arron fully admits that he was a rough kid. Anyway, here's some graffiti. Yeah, and you can see how Orwellian it can be around here. Just this massive CCTV cameras. And there's the Trinity Art Center. It used to be a church, but now it's an art center for films and sort of artsy things. Arron's actually played there a few times back in the day. And yeah, we just made our way through the town, just chatting and reminiscing. We decided to stop in at Reed's Cafe, that same place we went to last week. But this time we had a more substantial meal. We had a full English, which was, delicious, big and rich, and, Lincolnshire sausages and all that, some of my favorite things. And then we decided to go down for a walk down the River Trent, where Arron decided to share some more local stories. All right, so what's the story here, Arron?
The story here is, back in the day, 1760, there was a boat, lots of people on it. And a woman with a newly purchased pig, and they were in this river right here. And the ship was sinking. So if you can imagine this, all these people were drowning and dying, and this woman's got a rope with a pig, and this pig's like, rah, rah, the fucking river, and it drags her out the river. And 6 kids died.
But at least the pig survived.
The pig survived, and the woman did, sorry.
Look, I said he grew up rough. I never pretended that he didn't, okay? So yeah, we just continued making our way through Gainsborough. We passed through some of the industrial areas. There's actually still a malt vinegar factory that operates there, and on the day you could actually smell, the bready sort of malty smell coming from it, which actually wasn't that bad, although they said that there are times where it stinks really, really bad, especially in summer. We went up some old streets. We just wandered around on our way to Marshall's Yard, which is that shopping center I mentioned in an earlier vlog. Just some interesting local sites, like this fish shop. I don't know, guys. Do you think it's legit? I'm not sure. It could be. It's a little up in the air, I think. There was also this interesting trading card shop, PokeGains, that sold, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff. It looked cool. We didn't go inside, but, it looked cool. Although, I think this Pikachu has seen better days. So yeah, we made our way to Marshall's Yard to meet up with another of Arron's friends, Lawrence, or they just call him Law, and we just walked around and looked in some of the shops. This is the B&M here, a lot bigger than the one in Retford, so we took our time walking around there, especially looking at the toys, because as I say, they're all a bunch of overgrown children. So yeah, we just enjoyed doing that for a bit. We even stopped off in the Works, which surprised me because I didn't know any of them knew how to read, but, I looked around a bit. There wasn't anything much since the last time I was here, so not much to add, but, it's always fun hanging out with people you enjoy the company of. And we stopped off at a Costa Coffee where I had a festive holiday drink and a mince pie because, 'tis the season and I want to be as British as possible while I'm out here. But yeah, so I really enjoyed that. I love a good mince pie, so That was very nice and very festive, enjoyable. And again, we just had a wander. This is another church. I believe this is the All Saints Church of Gainsborough. The thing about England, if you don't know already, is that there's a lot of churches and chapels and old buildings like that. You know, the country's over 1,000 years old, so there's tons of old buildings. But yeah, it was very, very beautiful. We didn't go inside, because, you know, why would we? But it's a very, very beautiful church, and I enjoyed it very much. Then we made our way back to Marshall's yard to get Law's car so we could drive down to his place, which was a quick little pleasant trip. And his house itself was pretty cool. He's got a lot of memorabilia, you know, anime merchandise and things like that, but sort of the centerpiece of the living room was this signed poster of Gremlins here, which was actually signed by Zach Galligan, the main character of the film, and was addressed to his mom, because she's a huge Gremlins fan, so that was pretty cool. And then it was time to head down to school to pick up Graham's kids, so we walked down with him. And when we got back to Graham's house, we settled in for a long night with his kids. Actually, Arron got up to play Just Dance with Amber, the youngest. So, you know, he got to shake his groove thing a little bit. Got some footage of him dancing here, including him dancing to RuPaul.
This is when you find out which songs he has actually heard.
I knew you had a drag queen in you here.
Oh, what the heck was that?
It's like...
I tell you what, I can't shave my tits.
I think I can. I've got the tits for it.
I'll tell you what, Arron, the worry is, mate.
You gotta do the splits like that, Arron. Who knew Arron was such a diva? And we watched some of the new version of Morph. We played some video games, including the new Ninja Turtles, which I didn't get here. But yeah, we just had a fun night, just hanging out and spending some good quality time together. Oh yes, and here's their cat, Moon. She's a little sweetheart. The next morning we went to the Tesco's for breakfast, and I found this little free library here, which I had a quick look at. Unfortunately, there wasn't anything I was looking for, but it was still interesting to see. And as usual, I had my full English, and then we made the trek out to Crombie's house, which you can see some more lovely graffiti here. I don't know why, people seem very obsessed with certain parts of male anatomy in this town. When we made it to Crombie's, I got some footage here of their dog Nova. She's a big girl, very boisterous, very loud, but she's sweet. And after a fun morning of spending time with all of Arron's friends, we made our way back to the train station, stopping off in Marshall's yard to get a festive bake from Greg's, which I'd never heard of before, but it's basically like a Christmas dinner inside of a pastry, you know, with like turkey and cranberries and all that stuff. It's interesting. Very unhealthy, probably. And yeah, and then Arron and I finally made our way home. On our way home.
Back to Retto.
Yeah. Alright, so we finally got home from Gainsborough. It was a really, really good time. We got to see some old friends and just enjoy a night together, something we haven't been able to do in literal years, so that was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed that. So we're going to spend the rest of today recuperating, and then tomorrow we have the Christmas Market in Nottingham, so look forward to seeing that. So yeah, be sure to look out for some footage of that, and I hope you guys enjoy. So I'll see you guys then. This was a lot of fun. I've been to Nottingham once before, but that was a long time ago when I first came out in 2008, believe it or not. And Arron's parents took me to see the Great Oak in Sherwood Forest, which is amazing. If you haven't seen it, it's this massive oak tree that's, I think, over 1,000 years old, and it's so big and so old it has to be held up by struts and things like that. But yeah, but I'd never really spent a lot of time in Nottingham, the city itself, but it's a very beautiful city, very bustling. I'm glad we went on a weekday, because if we'd gone on a weekend, I can only imagine how heaving the Christmas market would have been. But yeah, it was beautiful. It was amazing. Very, so many lights and so festive. There was this big ice skating rink going around the perimeter that people could skate around. There was a big Ferris wheel, which Arron and I went up, and I'll put in some footage of that. Yeah, it was just an all-around good time. So just enjoy this little sort of festive montage of some of the sights of the Nottingham Christmas Market.
Enjoying that, Jess? Let's get a good whacking close-up on that. Doors closing, yep.
After all that, I had some nice drinks. I had a Bailey's hot chocolate with a flake, and then, just because it's the season, I had a glass of, or a cup, I should say, of mulled wine, just something a little bit festive, which is very enjoyable, and then we made our way home. Oh, and I also got a little something for Graham. Apologies, this is in vertical video, because this is originally something I just sent to Graham over Signal, but Arron wanted me to put it in the video. Look at what I got for you, Graham. We got this today at the Nottingham Christmas Festival. Look at that. 7 wheels of cheese. And they're all for you, as long as I can eat them with you. Deal? Hey guys, here I am again at the end of this second vlog for the second week with another book haul. I don't have as much as last week because I didn't go as crazy. Because a lot of the stores that I've already been to, their stock doesn't rotate that often, so there's no real point in going back to the same places. But I also didn't get to, as you saw in the vlog, I didn't get to go to as many like book stalls and things as I wanted to. But I think next week I'm thinking about going to Sheffield. And we're going to be going to Lincoln at some point, so there'll be a lot more book stuff there. But until then, I just want to show off the small little pile I've got here. So let's just get into it. As usual, most of these were bought from charity shops and things of that nature. First I have here, this is Mort by Terry Pratchett. This is, of course, part of the very famous Discworld fantasy series. Discworld is one of those things that I've always had a hard time getting into. I don't know why, but when I was like in high school, I remember reading The Color of Magic, and I didn't really like it. But the older I've gotten, and the more that I've read about it and stuff, the more I start to really appreciate Terry Pratchett, and it's something I've always wanted to get more into. And they had this at a charity shop for like 50p. This has his character Death, which is like one of his most famous characters, and from what I've seen, one that I really enjoy. And also, a lot of people say that this is one of the best ones to start with. A lot of people actually don't suggest reading them in publication order, but and a lot of them are kind of standalone, at least from what I understand. And one other thing that I also like about the UK covers as opposed to the American ones is that the covers are so much better. They're like fully painted, like fantasy art, sort of kind of cartoony. I mean, I love that. If I could have like a whole collection of these like UK covers, that would be pretty cool, actually. Just for comparison, here's the US version, and yeah, it sucks. So yeah, very much looking forward to that. Next, I already showed off this one a little bit in the vlog, but this is Agincourt by Bernard Cornwell. Agincourt is like the alternate spelling. This is, of course, a historical fiction about the Battle of Agincourt, focusing on an archer named, what's his name? Yeah, an archer named Nicholas Hook who gets involved in the battle. And that's basically the long and short of it, as far as I understand. Bernard Cornwell is a very famous historical fiction author, most well known for the Sharp series, which was turned into a series of films, TV movies and stuff with Sean Bean. That was one of his first big roles. I have the first 2 or 3 Sharp novels, and I haven't read them yet, but a lot of people really like Bernard Cornwell. He's very sort of action-packed and lots of historical detail and stuff. Sort of almost like Robert E. Howard-esque a little bit from what I've heard, in sort of how he has like, sort of like high-flying sort of action-adventure stuff mixed with like sort of historical detail. So yeah, and this just sounded interesting. It was £1, and I like the idea of, it focusing on an archer, I don't know, he sounds kind of cute maybe, we'll see. That's just me being a perv as usual. Speaking of being a perv, I actually found some gay stuff at some of my local charity shops, which I was surprised by. So I have 2 books here. These still have the stickers on them, but whatever. This is If This Gets Out by Sophie Gonzalez and Cale Dietrich. I know nothing about this. I've never heard of it before, but it's about 2 members of a boy band. I think it's a boy band. Is it? Yeah, one of the world's big... Ruben and Zach are 2 members of Saturday, one of the world's biggest boy bands, and, teen heartthrobs who fall in love, and it's like, ooh, how do we navigate our relationship, if we're, professionals and we're in the public spotlight and stuff. Again, I don't know anything about this, never heard of it before. It's very obviously meant for, like, a YA audience, but it's gay, and how often do you run into those things in the wild? So, I'm interested to check that out. Next, on a similar note, I have The Last Romeo by Justin Myers. This is just sort of your typical contemporary thing about a 34-year-old man who's like kind of trying to navigate, sort of love and relationships, as he's, getting a little bit older and stuff. Sort of a Bridget Jones kind of thing, but from like a gay male perspective, at least that's how it makes it sound. Sort of a romantic comedy kind of thing. So, again, if this was straight, I wouldn't go in for this at all. But as I always say, things are often improved by making them gay. So if you put that concept in, sort of a gay wrapping, I'll check it out. As I said, this is only this was £1. So for £1, I'm willing to give that a try. Hopefully it's good. And I've read some other stuff like this before that I liked. Like I really liked Less by Andrew Sean Greer and stuff like that. So we'll see how that turns out. Next I have Johannes Cabal, the Necromancer by Jonathan L. Howard. I mean, really, the title says it all. It's about a guy named Johannes Cabal who's a necromancer. He raises the dead. A brilliant but reclusive scientist who has never pretended to be a hero. But now Cabal wants his soul back, and he descends to hell to retrieve it. Satan, incredibly bored and hungry for a challenge, proposes a little wager. Johannes has 1 year to persuade 100 people to sign over their souls, or he will lose his own forever. With little time to lose, Cabal raises a crew from the dead and enlists his vampire brother to help out. On the road, Cabal wields weird science and black magic with the moral conscience of Anthrax, but are his tricks good enough to beat the devil at his own game? So, it's a necromancer raising an army of the dead and his vampire brother to sort of outwit the devil and, choose to, either condemn souls or save them. I mean, come on, that's all you really need to know. Again, I've never heard of this author, never heard of this book. I like the cover, though. But I was just sold on that concept alone. And again, it was 50p, so that's definitely worth a shot in my book. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out. Actually, I might check that one out sooner rather than later. We'll see. Next, this one actually isn't mine. This is a present I got for my friend Laura. This is Vengeance of the Pirate Queen by Tricia Levenseller. This is sort of a YA, lesbian pirate romance, I believe. 18-year-old Serinda is a deadly assassin with a reputation to match, but her latest assignment is like no other. The Pirate Queen has tasked her with a dangerous rescue mission, and her sailing master is none other than the infuriating Kieran. When they accidentally awaken the King of the Undersea and his army of undead soldiers, Kieran and Serinda must battle tooth and nail to survive the attack and each other. Will Serinda and her crew manage to save the world, or will she face a fate worse than death, becoming an undead queen controlled by the king himself? So again, I don't know much about this, but Laura's a big fan, and she wanted the UK edition because, again, the UK cover is way better than the American one. I'll pop that up here so you can see. It's awful. I can see why she wanted this version instead. So maybe it's not lesbian. The back didn't sound like it, but I'll have to look it up, and if it is, I'll put a little thing. But yeah, it's something that she's been into lately. She really wanted this edition, so I bought that for her, so I figured I might as well show it off here. Next, I have Grown Ups by Marion Keyes. I got this from the Clumber Park bookstore. I don't know much about Marion Keyes. She's an Irish author. She's kind of considered chick lit, although she hates that term, and I hate that term too. But, contemporary stories, sort of dramedies about, families, and usually involving lots of women and stuff like that. Never read her before, but what intrigued me about this one was that this involves one of the family members of this big, family who gets struck on the head. She has a concussion, and then she starts sort of blurting out all of the family secrets, and it kind of leads to this sort of downfall of the family, and I love that sort of stuff. I love sort of secrets coming out, and and sort of the dark pasts of people being revealed, and sort of that veneer of private society being torn away. That sounded a lot of fun and potentially really funny and interesting. So I thought I would check this out. Again, this was £1, so why not? It's pretty long. It's over 600 pages, so we'll see when I don't know when I'll get to this, but it does sound really cool. And actually, this specific novel came in multiple colors, which I thought was really interesting. This one isn't my favorite color of all the ones there were, but again, it was cheap, so who cares? So yeah, look forward to that. And finally, this, along with the Pirate Queen book, I got from that children's bookstore. It was £15, but I had to grab it as soon as I saw it. This is a nice hardcover edition of Struwwelpeter, or Shock-Headed Peter. This is a famous collection of German poems and sort of cautionary tales for children that was originally published in 1845. And it's something I've always enjoyed because, as I always talk about, I love sort of dark, twisted children's stories, sort of stuff that made, kids piss their pants and, sleep with the lights on and that type of thing. And this is for a certain audience of, European child, European person, this sticks out in a lot of people's memories. Struwwelpeter is a boy who refused to cut his nails or his hair, and so he became this sort of witchy, monstrous-looking thing. And another famous one in here is the story of Little Suck-a-Thumb, which is about, a little boy who wouldn't stop sucking his thumb, and his mother always warned him, stop sucking your thumb, or the scissor man's going to come and cut your thumbs off. But he doesn't, and of course, that's exactly what happens. The scissor man rushes in, snips the poor little boy's thumbs off, and he's left there thumbless and crying. So you can see how this traumatized a bunch of kids. And yeah, as soon as I saw this like really nice, sort of swanky hardcover edition, I was like, oh, I have to have that. So I grabbed it immediately. It was £15, but it was worth it in my eyes. It's something I definitely want to treasure. I'm very happy to have. And I think this also is a new translation as well. I believe, and there's like a whole thing in the back about Heinrich Hoffmann, the author, and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really excited to have this. So that's really, really, really cool. So yeah, that was this week's book haul and this week's vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed. As I say, it's been a bit low key this week, aside from, you know, the Christmas market in Gainsborough and stuff. But next week, we're doing some stuff with his parents, and as I said, I might be going to Sheffield on Monday. We'll see. And at some point we're going to go to Lincoln. So I want to show more book stuff eventually. I hope to be able to do that. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's vlog, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. I also wanted to quickly add that, being a dumb American, I actually don't know a whole lot about the Battle of Agincourt. I know about it from Shakespeare, obviously, you know, St. Crispin's Day and all that. So that should be interesting for me to learn more about, because again, I'm a stupid American. We don't learn about this stuff. But the other thing that I think of when I hear Agincourt is this.
Well, not you, maybe.
Eddie, stand firm. Where were you at Agincourt?
I stayed on the bus, remember?